Okay, so here's my hot take. World of Warcraft would be better without raids and dungeons. And I know a lot of you are going to be very mad at this, but hear me out. So, I play World of Warcraft not because of the dungeons or the raids. In fact, I don't even really do dungeons or raids. I play World of Warcraft for other reasons. I play it actually for the world because I think it's a very immersive world. It's a very beautiful world. It's a nice place to be in. And I like the very monotonous grind of leveling a character from 1 to 60 or 80 or whatever it happens to be. I like that. And I also like collecting materials, I like crafting, I like playing the auction house. I like to do all of those things. And raiding doesn't really happen for me. Because something else that I enjoy about World of Warcraft is the fact that I don't really have to commit to it. If I want to play, I jump in and I play for a little bit. And if I want to quit, then I just quit again. But when you're doing a raid, then you have to commit. You have to really commit. You have to be there at the right time. You have to know all these mechanics. You have to know the rotation. You can't make any mistake. And all of a sudden, this relaxed game that I used to unwind after work becomes another stressful job. But now the difference is that this job doesn't really have any real payoff in the end. You're just stressing yourself out for more or less nothing. And when you make a mistake, not only do you fail and does your character die, but very quickly you are hurting the entire group, you're hurting the entire guild. And when you are focusing that much on the raiding, there's very little room left for all the other aspects of the game. For example, when I do a dungeon, right? I like to take my time with a dungeon. I like to appreciate the art, the characters, the setting, the music, the sound design. I like to appreciate that. And I also like to read the quest text when I'm at dungeon to see and to learn what's actually going on. What's the story? Why am I here? But when you are doing a dungeon through like the dungeon finder, there's no way for you to do that. There's always one player that's so much more experienced who's going to rush through that. And with that, the dungeon is not a fun experience anymore. It's just rushing and trying to keep up with the guy that's running through the dungeon. And that's not fun. And when you're raiding, it's also not really about how you want to play and how you want to approach this dungeon, but you're really just one player out of many, and you kind of have to adhere to what the group wants and what's best for the group. And while that can be fun at times, for me, there's nothing that I would want and would need in World of Warcraft. The fact that when you're raiding, World of Warcraft becomes a very, very different game than when you're playing it yourself, when you play on your own, and when you do all these other things that the game has to offer. When I play the game, it's a very relaxing game, it's fun, it's about the atmosphere, it's about a bit of immersion. But when you're doing dungeons and when you're doing raids, it becomes this very technical game where it's not really about, oh, look how pretty this tree is, but where it's about, oh my god, my damage isn't high enough. Oh my god, I messed up my rotation. Oh my god, what was the mechanic of the boss again? And that's not fun for me. That for me has more to do with a game like Factorio than with an MMORPG like World of Warcraft. And because of that, I think that World of Warcraft would be much better if you would just cut out the dungeons and the raids and you would only have the world, and you would be able to focus more on the world of the game and the setting and the art in it, and you wouldn't have to make it such a technical experience that it is and that it becomes when you introduce dungeons and raids. Yeah, so that's my hot take. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments, and see you next time.